Do you ever have a moment when you wake up in the middle of the night and remember something terribly important that you have forgotten? Well, I do. That's why I keep some Post-it notes next to my bed so that I can wake up in the middle of the night and jot something down without having to get up. That happened to me earlier this week when I realized that I was in danger of letting our 2 weeks of compassionate community-themed services go by without talking about one of my first and greatest inspirations when it comes to what it takes to build community. I brought a guest with me today. I think some of you probably recognize this fellow. This is Mr. Fred Rogers holding his trolley from his show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Mr. Rogers was a wizard if ever a whiz there was. When Mr. Rogers invites us in and sits down and takes off his outside shoes and puts on his inside shoes and his cardigan, he asks us, "Please, won't you be my neighbor?" And when he does, we are transported to an imaginary but very real world that is shaped by compassion, curiosity, trust, and respect. As I was thinking about Mr. Rogers and his neighborhood, I realized that in hindsight, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, along with that other public television staple, Sesame Street, were probably two of the first virtual communities that were ever made real to me, years before the internet was even in my house. I can draw a direct line from my memories of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to the community that we seek to create here, where real-world connections must now be nourished in unfamiliar soil as we navigate together a pandemic and a world gone awry with as much grace as we can muster. I think we could all use a little bit of Mr. Rogers in our lives. So what lies at the heart of Mr. Rogers' vision of community? It's a great question. How did he create a neighborhood out of a television studio and a dream? That is maybe the best magic of all. To demonstrate Mr. Rogers' magic, I would like to share with you a short video clip. It is not from his television show. It is from a much tougher audience. In 1969, the U.S. Senate Commerce Committee was deep in debate about the funding for national public television, a revolutionary idea. And Mr. Rogers went to Washington.
Now, Mr. Rogers is certainly one of the best things that's ever happened to public television, and his Peabody Award is testament to that fact. We in public television are proud of Fred Rogers, and I'm proud to present Mr. Rogers to you now. Fred.
All right, Rogers, you got the floor.
Senator Pastore, this is a philosophical statement and would take about 10 minutes to read, so I'll not do that. One of the first things that a child learns in a healthy family is trust, and I trust what you have said that you will read this. We made 100 programs for EEN, the Eastern Educational Network, and then when the money ran out, people in Boston and Pittsburgh and Chicago all came to the fore and said, we've got to have more of this neighborhood expression of care. And this is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health. I think that it's much more dramatic that two men could be working out their feelings of anger, much more dramatic than showing something of gunfire. I'm constantly concerned about what our children are seeing. And for 15 years, I have tried in this country and Canada to present what I feel is a meaningful expression of care.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes, and I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the scripts.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication. Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel? When you feel so mad you could bite. When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, stop, stop anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this and know that the feeling is really mine.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
You've made this day special just by being you. In 7 minutes, Mr. Rogers, not the character from the TV show, but the actual human being behind it, turned a hostile and suspicious Senate committee into ardent fans. And that is the magic of compassion, the magic of the type of community that we hope to build. Please join me in singing our centering song.